All right, guys. So all I'm doing here is I'm going to talk through the PDF document with the notes, so it hopefully makes a little bit more sense. So coming into this, we talked about balancing reactions. We talked about identifying reactions. And that's kind of the biggest part that we'll take from this is now we still have our 5 types of reactions: synthesis, decomposition, combustion, single replacement, and double replacement. And we're going to figure out, how do I write the products? Okay, so if I have the reactants, what is it going to look like to be able to write the products? Okay, so that means now we have to be able to identify the reaction based off of only what we're given, the reactants in a reaction. So in a synthesis reaction, I'm going to have 2 elements. In this case, it's Na and F. Na is a metal, F is a nonmetal. Remember, on our periodic table, Na is a metal. It's going to be right here. Okay, so we have our staircase right here that separates our positively charged metals from our negatively charged nonmetals. And in this case, just realize that anytime you have a positively charged ion with a negatively charged one, you're going to crisscross charges. So we have our polyatomic ions here as well. Okay, so synthesis, I got reactants, metal, and a nonmetal. So the product side, what I'm going to have is one ionic compound, and then I have to balance it. So I get Na and F coming together now. So when I write the products, what I'm going to have to do is find the charge of sodium and the charge of fluorine and then crisscross them. And in our Schoology folder, there is, for this week, there's a review of how to crisscross charges if you forget. Also reach out to me if you need to. Okay? And we'll look at that more specifically on the next page. Decomposition, now I have one compound as my reactant. On the product side, I just have elements. So what I do for writing products is I just write my elements out, Na and F, split it all up, and then add a 2 subscript when it's a sneaky 7. So fluorine is one of those 7 elements as a sneaky 7, and sodium is not. So my sneaky 7s are hydrogen, which is over here, hydrogen, plus these 6 elements right here: nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Those are my sneaky 7. Okay. Now, combustion reaction, before you could pick it out based on products. Oh, it makes CO2 and H2O. Now that makes writing products really easy, but picking it out, I have to look at, what are my reactants? I'm always going to have oxygen, O2, and for us, it's going to be a carbon compound. Is that a perfect definition? No, but it's what we're going to use. So I get a hydrocarbon, a combination of hydrogen and carbon, could also be oxygen, plus O2. And then the products are always going to be CO2 and H2O. So when I'm writing products for combustion, this should be the simplest one, is CO2 and H2O. And then single and double replacement are the 2 hardest to write products for, because you got to crisscross and identify charges. So on my reactant side in single replacement, I got a metal, sodium, and an ionic compound, magnesium chloride. And then on the product side, I have a new ionic compound and a new metal. Okay, or they switch spots. Notice how Na and Mg switch spots here. So the metals are switching spots, and you have to rewrite charges in crisscross. And as we'll see in our homework, that's the part that's hard, is when I write this new compound, how do I get the subscripts? Because you look at that one, you're like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. But then you look at this one, you're like, holy crap. So I have 2 ionic compounds in a double replacement: magnesium chlorate and lead 2 nitrate. Okay, so the hardest thing to do in these, and we'll see it another example, is what do I do when I'm looking at it? So the big key when I look at this is I got to find ClO. Notice there's ClO2, ClO3, and I'm looking for hypochlorite right here, ClO -1. Okay. And I'm also looking for nitrate, NO3 -1. So I find the charges of those things. And I need magnesium, which is right here. And what was it? Sodium, which is lead, which is a 2. Another hard part about our transition metals is, what charge do I use? Okay, we're using one of these 2 or 4. So I'm going to have to reverse crisscross. That's going back to kind of our tougher part from our previous unit. So that's our general idea. What I would do is just pause and make sure that you have a basic understanding of that before we go into the key ideas. So the first step is always decide what type of reaction you have based on the reactants. Decide first, because that's going to determine how you write your products. And then you always balance at the end and watch out for sneaky sevens. That's an N, not an R, not severs, sneaky sevens. So in a synthesis reaction, there's going to be multiple reactants that are elements. So I got calcium and nitrogen. Specifically, I get a metal and a nonmetal. So I want to put them into a compound. So what I have to do is find the charges and then crisscross. So I'm going to write out calcium. Ca is a +2, N's a -3. All I did was reference my periodic table to find that. Ca is a +2, N's a -3. And when I crisscross, the charge from the Ca goes down and the charge from N goes down. I want to balance the charges. So I got +6 on this side and -6. 3 times +2 is +6. 3 times -2 is -6. They're balanced. And I just have to go back and balance. And I'm not going to talk about that here. Okay, so sneaky sevens, notice that's starred right here. A case where you're going to see that is in a decomposition reaction and in single replacement. Those are really the only ones you're going to see it. Okay, so in decomposition, I know it's decomp because there's one reactant. And this is just going to be our rule. Is it a perfect rule? No. Okay, so if you go on to future chemistries, you're going to see that this isn't always going to hold up. But all we're going to do is we're just going to break it into the elements and watch out for sneaky sevens. So I got potassium carbonate here, K2CO3. I'm going to break up the K, the C, and the O into their elements. And then watch out for sneaky sevens. Is K a sneaky 7? Nope, no 2. Is C a sneaky 7? Nope, no 2. Is O a sneaky 7? Yep. Gets a 2 subscript, and I have to balance. Combustion, now the nice thing about combustion is the products are always CO2 and H2O. So if I have a carbon compound starts with carbon and oxygen, then my products are going to be CO2 and H2O, and then I just have to balance. So that one should hopefully be the easiest one to predict products for. His synthesis and decomp are usually pretty simple for people too. But this single and double is where it gets tricky. So I know it's single replacement if my reactants are a metal, an element, and a compound, ionic compound here. What I'm going to do is switch the element to the metal and the compound. These are the cations or positively charged things. So then H is going by itself. The reason why it has the 2 is because it's a sneaky 7. And then I have to crisscross charges. So what I have to do is go to my periodic table, find magnesium, +2, find SO4 on my polyatomic ions list, -2. Like charges are going to cancel. And then I just get MgSO4. That's why I cross those out right there. Then last one, double replacement. If the reactants are 2 compounds, I switch the metals or the cations and I have to crisscross again. So I got cesium and magnesium. Now based off of this, you might be able to pick out what the charges are. Well, CS is a +1, Cl is a -1, Mg is a +2, N's a -3. So then Mg and CS are going to switch spots. You could write them in either order in terms of this compound or that compound being first. So I write Mg with its charge, Cl with its charge, +2, -1, and then I crisscross. The 1 goes to Mg, don't write the 1. The 2 goes to Cl, write the 2. Okay, here, CS is a 1, goes down to N, don't write 1s. The 3 from the N goes down to the CS, and then I balance. Okay, now the next page is your homework, and I have a separate walkthrough for that, but what you should do is try to identify your reactants, identify your reactions first. That's that left column, because that will dictate what your products actually are, and then balance at the end. And I have the video for that is a little bit longer, but remember, get as far as you can. Maybe all I can do today is combustion. I can identify the 2 combustion problems on the homework, and then write CO2 and H2O. And then I can identify this as decomp. What do I do? Okay, follow up and ask me a question. We got this online learning now, so we just got to make adjustments. Okay, good luck, guys, and let me know if you have any questions.